Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Volcano-AC, and in this episode I will show you how to connect a tube amplifier into a cabinet with speakers. I have three different tube amplifiers. The first one is the Marshall DSL20. The second one is the Engle Fireball 25, and the third is the EVH 5150 350 watts. I have two different cabinets. One is the Marshall 2x12 with Celestion 7080 speakers, and I have the Engle 2x12 with Vintage 30 speakers. I will first connect the Marshall amplifier to the Marshall cabinet, and then I will connect the Engle amplifier to the Engle cabinet. I will then disconnect that, and I will connect the EVH 5153 to the Engle cabinet. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, and we are here in our Marshall amplifier, and the very first thing of course is gonna be we're gonna connect the power cable, so just make sure everything matches as it should to enter smooth. Then we're gonna go from right to left, since we started with the power cable over there, and we have the effects loop. So you see this one is to send and this one is to return the effects loop. It's gonna be connected to this little pedal. This is the JHS pedal. I always use it between the preamp and the power amp section, because that way I can attenuate and have the real sound of the cranked preamplifier tubes. So I need to connect it now, and I have here my cable. So first I'm gonna put the send, and the send goes straight. If we see this attenuator like that, this is only $60, and I highly recommend that if you have a tube amplifier. Every of my videos has this pedal in either amp in the loop section, so highly recommended. This is not a sponsored video, but I couldn't live without this pedal, I can tell you that. So again, it comes out from the send output into the input of this pedal, and then I need to connect the output of the pedal and goes to the return, you see. So that's why it's called a loop, because it comes out of here and it enters back here, and I can reduce, so attenuate the signal here as needed. Okay, I'm gonna bring this pedal to the other side so that when we do our test we can see how it works. All right, then this amplifier, and not every amplifier is like this. It has a foot switch. It's this white over here. I like that it's a different color. So this amplifier came with a foot switch to select the channel, if you want the lead channel or the clean channel, or you can also select if you want this loop section bypass or not. So this one has integrated cable over there, so I just need to bring it all the way here because it's kind of long, and here it is, and this one will go into the FS, which stands for foot switch. There we go. Okay, now the final part is gonna be, and remember, you cannot turn on your amp head if it's not connected to a speaker. So I have here one end, and if we are using a 16 ohm speaker, it will be this one, or if it's an 8 ohm speaker, you can use just one of this, or if I'm connected to two speakers, then I will have to use these two for a total of 16 ohms, basically 2 of 8 16, or 1 of 8 just 8. So I'm gonna connect that there, and now the other end is gonna go into the speaker over here. There we go. And remember, These speakers do not require a power cable like the one we use for the amplifier. Speakers don't have. Generally, these are passive speakers. So with that, we should be in really good shape and ready to turn on our amplifier. Let's go. Alright, and now the final part is gonna be to connect our guitar to the input of the amplifier, like so. And remember, we have here our foot switch that we connected into FS with a white ring so that we can change the channel, clean and dirty. We have to turn on and off the effects loop, and in the effects loop we have the entrance of the effects loop here on the attenuator and coming out back to the return of the amp. So this amplifier has a low mode, a high mode, or a standby. The low mode is 10 watts if I remember correctly, and the high is the full 20 watts. And the standby is if you're not going to use it for a while, then you can put it in standby, but the tubes still stay nice and warm. So I turn it on, and as you can see, it is there on the clean channel of the amp. So I am going to change it right there, and it is well connected because it changed to the lead channel of the amplifier. Now let me go back and let's see the effects loop. And the effects loop right now we're not gonna hear much, but I'll try again. Clean, lead. And now, because it's going through the attenuator, we don't hear that hiss of the amplifier. Effects loop with the attenuator off, and now it's on. So it's already doing its job, which is great. So let's try some cleans without the attenuator. And I'm not gonna use a Shure SM57 microphone or anything like this. I'll just record with whatever the camera has right now, which is a Rode mic. Ooh, super loud out of the get-go, you see. But now if I do effect loop, okay, it went totally silent, so I can go here in the effects in the pedal. There we go. Okay, now let's change to the lead channel and the effects loop on as well, because I want to crank it up. There we go. Lots of mids, and even with lots of reverb, I'm gonna reduce that, reduce a little bit the mids. Same thing. Super! Alright, so everything got connected perfectly. Let's move on to our Engl Fireball 25. Alright, and now we're gonna do the Engl Fireball 25. And similar as we did with the Marshall head, let's connect our power cable over there. Make sure that the switch, of course, in the front is turned off. And remember that the Marshall, you could select between low or high for the full 20 watts or about 5 watts. Then here you can do a similar thing, but on the back of this lunchbox you can see full power, all 25 watts. Or you can reduce to 5 watts, 1 watt, or speaker off. This is for the full power that we're gonna be using right now. Then we have the space for the foot switch. We did connect a foot switch in the Marshall because it came with the amplifier. In this particular case, it did not come with it, and I did not purchase separately. So we're gonna skip the foot switch right now, which basically changes your channels. So we're gonna move on to the FX loop right here, and this is the same concept as in the Marshall, send and return. But just to spice it up a little bit, how about if we put on the first send right here, it goes to an effect, in this case the MXR analog chorus, and I put it into the input, and then the output, the mono output, goes into either the return, like so. So that's an option right there. So it comes out, it gets into my input of the MXR analog, and then it gets back and returns. But we don't want to do that, to be honest. That's just an example that I wanted to give you over here, how you can use your FX loop, which is why it is called FX loop. But the reality is we want to connect our attenuator so that we can crank the volume and have all the power of the preamp section. Okay, so this goes to the bottom of the attenuator, and this comes back from the attenuator. Then moving on, we have the noise gate. Over here, this is something that the Marshall didn't have here. This is super cool. You can have it at the max or you can turn it off. So this is the threshold basically. But I really like it over here around 10 or 11, not even at noon, 10 or 11. I think it sounds really good. The line output port taps the power amp's output to provide a line out signal configured at a level of about 0 dB. You can feed this signal to another linear power amp. Another option is to patch it through an output filter to emulate a speaker, or for example into an IR, and feed this externally processed signal to a recording device or PA system. And then we have our connection to our actual speaker, and it is one of 8 ohms, so this over here, or if you're connecting a stereo for 16 ohms, then you have to use both outputs. But because we only are gonna connect it to one speaker, let me put the cable. And I have here the cable, so it goes from one out, and we have the speaker down there. So this Engle E212 Pro VH speaker cabinet has vintage 30 speakers, and it could be used as mono or in stereo. So in stereo you will use both inputs, but because it's mono, I'm just gonna use one input. When it is just one, it is 8 ohms. When it is two, then it is 60 watts each, and it is 16 ohms. So I'm just gonna go ahead and connect it right there. Alright, and now we need to do our final step, which is to plug in our guitar cable into the input of the Engle Fireball 25 amplifier. And now we're ready to turn it on. There we go. And this amplifier also has a standby mode similar to the Marshall, and it is right here. That's a standby mode, and here is just ready to play. And I don't have a foot switch like I mentioned before, but I can change from the clean channel to the lead channel right there, just manually. Alright, now let's see if we are getting signal from our guitar. Let's check it out. Definitely it's working good. And now let me change the volume to make sure that the effects loop is working. So I'll change the volume with the attenuator that is on the effects loop. There we go. So it's working perfectly as it should. All right. So now let me reduce the volume here and I'll switch it to the lead channel right there. So loop effects loop connected correctly, amp connected correctly, so we're good. Now I'm gonna disconnect the Engle amp and I am gonna connect the EVH. Let's go. All right, and now we are here with our EVH 5150 350 watts, and we're gonna start from left to right. First, of course, we're gonna have our power input, so we go ahead and we can connect it really nice right there. Then you're gonna find what it is, the fuse that you need to replace only with a fuse of the same rating when needed. Then you're gonna see the power on and off switch, and please pay attention because how it works is you're gonna have to turn on the power and then wait 30 seconds because it goes immediately into standby mode after you turn on, but you have to wait 30 seconds according to the instructions in the manual, and then you flip this one to on as well. This deactivates the standby mode, okay? And when you turn it off, is the other way around. You first turn this off, meaning the standby is actually on, wait 30 seconds, and then you turn off the power, okay? Of course, I'm gonna try to hide my serial number, and then this is for headphones. So here, this automatically mutes the speaker output, okay? If you put the headphones, then it's gonna be muted. Then, of course, you have your MIDI in, and that is if you need that. Then you have the foot switch. This amplifier did come with a foot switch, which is actually right here. It's actually pretty big with channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, and then the effects on and off. So I'm just gonna put it on top of the other amp right there, and I'm gonna connect the foot switch right there, okay? After that, we have the effects loop, of course, send and returns. So I'm gonna send it to the same pedal attenuator, and that way we can crank up the volume, get the really nice sound of the EVH 5150. After that, we have the preamp out, which is that over there. That is, for example, if you want to use a different power section and you don't want to use the power section of this amp, that's where you take it out, but of course you're not gonna take it back in. After that, you have your resonance control. In the resonance control, basically you adjust that depending on your needs or the sound you're looking for, but I think for me it has sounded okay over there. Then we have the load impedance, so we can choose here if we want 4, 8 or 16. I know for a fact that with the speaker I've been using 16 has been fine, but I will put it to 8 so that we can go straight mono 8 over here to the speaker that we're gonna be using. So I'll keep it at 8, and then I need to take one of these outputs. This is the output of this amplifier. So let me go ahead and put it there, and it is right there. So it goes out over there. And now of course we just need the final part, which is the speaker, and again in mono, and I go back over there. All right, now everything has been connected in the back of the EVH5150, so I have to go to the front of the amp and connect the guitar cable to the amplifier, and then I'll flip these switches. Okay, really quickly, the guitar goes in before I turn it on. Now go to the back again. All right, ready to turn on our amp. So turn it on right there. Gotta wait 30 seconds. Okay, and I think now should be fine. And I can hear it already with the noise. So the good thing is in channel 1, otherwise it gets really loud. So as soon as I turn the effects, you're not gonna listen to it anymore. There we go, because we have the attenuator, which is the whole reason why we want to use that precious attenuator. All right, now let's go and make sure the guitar sound comes out as we need it. All right, so now we gotta check if the sound of our guitar is gonna go through as expected. So you can see channel 1 is the green. Maybe my guitar is messing it up there. I'm blocking it, and we have also the effects engaged because we don't want it to get too loud. So that way the effects activates our JHS pedal. So let's see how it sounds. Nice. That's the clean channel. Now let's go channel 2. There we go. Crunch channel right there. Now let's go channel 3. There we go. Nice. That was just to demonstrate that actually we're controlling the attenuation with this JHS pedal. So anyways, I think with that we have gone
through connecting all 3 amps in the 2 different speakers. So the Marshall DSL20, Fireball, Engle 25 and the EVH 5150. And that is all for this episode. If you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button, and for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.